Hello everyone, in this lecture we will learn about string functions. So a string is a sequence of characters. It can have a special characters or any characters which you can see on keyboard. Now this is an object because everything in Java, Python is an object. So we can always access the properties and functions using dot operator. Press dot and here you can see all these functions. Let's understand few functions here. So let's first calculate the length. So we can this length will work for every data type, most of the data type. It can be a list, it can be a string. So we don't have to use this object length directly. You can specify here and name of this object. Right click and see here the length, total number of characters. It will count the space also. Let's convert this string to uppercase. Here is upper and it is converted to uppercase. Similarly, lowercase letters, all that lowercase. Remember, string is immutable. It means it will not modify in the existing string. For example, here if I do something like this upper and then I'll print this string, it will not be converted. See, it's not in upper. The reason it is immutable, it will not modify the existing object, but what it will do, it will return that converted string, and that we have to store in a variable. For example, here I can store and then I can print that variable. So you can see here it is converted to uppercase. Here we are just printing directly, we are not storing in any variable. So you can do this approach also if you want to store that value and use in different way, or here just to print it. So let's find the index of substring. Suppose I am looking for Python, where it is present, which index value it is present here, or let's search is, so 0 1 2 is present on second location, and optional parameters are there. So I want to search between, let's say 3 and 10, these index value. So that should be inside 3 and 10, and see on fifth location this string is present. Remember, we have discussed this already. If you are not able to understand, we can always call this help. So let's understand one function, center. So don't call this, see center. What is center? So you can see here center with width. Optional parameter is fill character and it will return a string. Return s centered in a string of length width. Padding is done using the specified fill character. Default is a space. So let's run this, use this function. I'll print center and here the width. First one is width. Assume that it is 50. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's run it because the other parameter is optional. So you will not get, from here you can understand what is happening here, right? Let's change the fill character to this hyphen. Run it again. You can see the reason is this width is less than this, right? So what we can do, we have to find the width, the length, how many characters are there in this string, and let's plus 10. So 5 on left side, 5 on right side. Now you can see here. So this, whatever character we specify here, it will use that. Let's add star and then see here. Now it is centered. This string is centered. You can modify this. Total will be 50. Now you can see here the output. Let's understand other functions. Let's replace the value. So you can see here arguments we have to pass old, new and count. I want to replace, let's change it. Yeah, Java is good. Something you can write here. Now I want to replace this Java with Python. Run it. It will return a string. You can see both the places this Java is replaced with Python. But I have another option here, parameter. This will specify the count. How many places we want to replace this. Let's specify only one. So only first place. Okay, so it will replace this old string with the new string only one time, first occurrence. If I give here 2, so 1, 2, both the places, right? Or we can skip this. In that case, it will replace all the string, all the occurrence. So let's understand. The count, it will count the number of occurrence. Now Python is there, no it is not there, Java is there, it will return 0. Let's give here Java, it's present 2 times. Very useful string functions. So let's understand with starts with, if a particular string starts with a substring or not. So prefix, and these are optional parameter, start and end. It will return a string. This string starts with T. Yes, it starts with T. True. This, yes, this is present. Again true. That, so false. So you can use optional parameter and give that index value and then check that substring is starts with that particular string or not. Similarly, you can check. So in this case, I'll create one more string, and here I'll specify email ID. I want to check whether this email ends with or @jupitervidya.com or not. So run it and you can see true. All the email IDs belongs to this institute will start with @jupitervidya.com, right? So that we can confirm, because when you add an email, you can this part will be there always. So ends with, start can be different. It can be any email ID, any person email ID. So we can check, we can confirm whether a particular email ID belongs to a particular domain or not, like gmail.com or xyz dot any extension. So we can confirm it. If it is Gmail, you will get false because it is not ending with this substring. So in that scenario it is very useful. Okay, now what if user has typed something like this, some space. So we can remove this space from beginning and from end using trim function. What I'll do, let's print this email, and see here, you double click here, you can just start highlighting this, and then see here, I'm not able to highlight until here only because this is a string. It starts from here and it ends here. From here you can identify that this string contains space before and after. Before we can understand easily, but after this string it is difficult. So in that case you can just select it. So till here you can see the space, it's highlighting this. So how to remove this space? We can call it's trim in another language. Here in Python we have strip. So let's run it and see here. Now I'll try to highlight this, so you can see here till here only. So strip function will remove the space, these spaces before and after. So all these are very useful function, and you can try yourself. You just type dot and then see here, here help, and then any function, documentation, is alpha, is upper. These are very useful function. Is decimal. Let's print the help. You can see the documentation. Okay, no, we have to just add without parameters here, otherwise it will call the function. So it will return boolean value, return true if there are only decimal characters in S, false otherwise. So all these functions you can try. Strings manipulation is very important for any programming language. So you should be very good in this these functions.